How are you today? Are you ready to break free? Are you ready to go deep, to be stronger, better, more, faster, more powerful, more incredible than you ever thought was possible? Is that even something you're willing, ready, or even looking for? Or are you just okay with okay? Do you want to be unleashed and go deep? Or would you rather stay where you are? There's no wrong answer in that. But I want you to really be able to take a few moments here and look at where are you in life. And then truly take stock of, is that where I want to be? Or is there more? Is there a next? Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of just a whole bunch of books and more coming. I love writing. I've been so blessed to work with thousands to help bring out their message into the world, to promote it to bestsellers, and even more so, though, the millions, literally, that those books have reached and the lives that they've changed. It's such a wonderful blessing. I've traveled all over the world preaching, singing, talking, teaching, sharing the love of Jesus and a big smile, being the best version of me. And you know what? Just like all of us, sometimes being a not as good version of me. But I'm so glad to be able to stand here before you today, thriving and truly free, living a life that is exceedingly abundantly above. We've talked about that. I encourage you to go back and look at the Facebook Live that I did, the YouTube video that I did, the Twitter video. All three of them happen simultaneously right now, in case you didn't know. At the one that I talked about, what really is abundance? If the money goes away, are you living abundantly still? Absolutely you are. Abundance is about so much more. I encourage you to go and look at that. But today I want, for those excited, possible few of you that are ready to be unleashed and go deep, I want to talk to you for a few minutes. I know you're laughing. You're like, a few minutes, Steve, that'll be like a half an hour from now. And you'll be talking about how you just want to finish things up real quick. I know, but we'll see how long it goes. You see, here's the thing. When a minister meets the marketer, when an empath is talking to you about the deeply spiritual elements of your life and showing you how to market the most important thing in the world, yourself, who you truly are, the deep in you, not just, who are you? Well, I work at blah, 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 but the deep you that's you. When those three come together, when the young man who at 5 years old started selling and has been in sales and marketing ever since, who has been a songbird for Jesus my whole life, has served both in and out of churches all around the world, and I'm honored to do so, but also has an empathy that, honestly, sometimes it's more than I want. How's that for brutal honesty? Sometimes I see you too much, so much that it hurts me. I have to be careful of the input that I allow in my life, and I have to always ask myself, is that my feeling, or is it a feeling that I felt from someone else? But what happens when all of that comes together into one person? What do you get? Well, you get Steve Kidd, third generation minister, international best-selling author of multiple books, and the guy that's here to show up. Because, and I love this phrase, I keep using it over and over again, as Gandalf says to Frodo at the beginning of Fellowship of the Rings, a wizard is never early. A wizard is never late. A wizard always shows up precisely on time. And if I'm here speaking to you in your life today, for a minute, for the whole broadcast, whether you're listening live or you hear this 10 years from now, I'm showing up at the exactly perfect time for you to ask you the simple question, are you ready to be unleashed and to go deep? Are you ready to see more? I'm talking to those of you that are getting it done. I mean, there are so many people in the world, and I'm going to try not to go off on what sounds like an old guy tangent about all these people, right? But there are people who are comfortable in there where they are, and that's okay. I don't mean that from a judgy, judgmental state. This is a judgment-free zone. We've said that for years here in our Facebook Lives, in our YouTubes, in all the things we do. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? But it's important that we understand that for those who are good, they're where they think they should be and they don't want more. It's important that you understand this isn't for you. I'm talking to that 1% of the 1% who, like me, is never really totally satisfied, who always sees or feels is really a more better way of saying it. More better? You like that English? That there's better, that there's more. But often, all of us have a problem reading the label on the jar that we're inside of. We need somebody on the outside. More importantly, though, we also need somebody that really can feel, understand, and put themselves in the space of what's inside the jar, too, so that they can see the label. They can tell the substance inside, this is who you are, and this is all you're meant for. That they can see the inside of the inside and see that precious gem deep inside of that. But they can also know right where you are and be able to give you not the whole world, but just what's next. Now, who has the ability to be able to do that? There are a lot of people, a lot of amazing people out there in the world, and I'm not trying to take their place. There are trendsetters, market predictors, people who can tell you what stock is going to be next, people who have all kinds of deep ways that they predict who's going to be the next president, all those kind of things. And that's not really my place. I do have a huge vision. I do see things before they come and am surprised. I even talked yesterday when I was talking to you about some of the things that I've been in the we talk about the adventurers or the explorer modes, might have been even before that, like they talk about the bleeding edge of something. I'm often the air in front of the bleeding edge of the sword, okay? And that's okay. That's how I was made. But what that brings to you, just like this helicopter is bringing something to Camp Pendleton, what that brings to you is the ability to have somebody look at the label on the outside of your jar and the substance inside of it, to honor the precious gem that's you and tell you there's more. Come on, there's more. I've talked about it before, but I love at the end of the book, The Last Battle, the last of the 7-book series, The Chronicles of Narnia, the one that I so wish they'd make into a movie that's never made it into the movies. And in that they say, they get to the inner part of the quote unquote real Narnia. I don't want to destroy the whole story for you. But then they go in and they find a whole universe expands to them again. And they get encouraged to continuously go further up and further in. You see, wherever you are, however far you've come, there is more. There is better. There is so much possibility. And for those that I work with, for those who I've had the honor and the privilege, sometimes even to their frustration, ask any of my kids what it's like when they'll be seeing something and feeling kind of down about it, and I see something positive in it. It's not necessarily what you want when you really just need somebody to give you a hug. And I give them the hugs too. But I understand their frustration too, because that's just how my brain is wired. I've had people tell me, you're too much. You can't just rejoice in what I'm doing. You always have something more. And that's true. I own that. I just don't apologize for that anymore, because it's just how my brain is wired. It's how God made me. And for those of you who are that 1% of the 1% who are looking for what's next, craving more, knowing that there is, but maybe not knowing what, those are the people, that rare, precious few that I'm looking for. Is that you? Are you ready to go further up and further in? Are you ready to see that cloud? Do you have clouds in your life? I know I do. And I need to remind myself the same thing I'm going to tell you right now. Often, the more we look at that cloud, first we see the silver lining. But then as we get closer, we realize that it was never a cloud to begin with. It was just a silver-laced cotton candy, another treat brought into your life to make you even better than what you were before. And so with that, if you're ready to begin to see beyond your clouds into your silver and find the delicious treat that is you, who you're meant to be in the world, you're the people that I'd love to talk to. For the rest of you, hey, I love you. And there are so many things that I have that I can do for you. Many, many, many people just like yourself, I've helped. I've helped them craft and create stories and all that kind of stuff. I'm not in any way Xing you out or saying that I don't have something for you. But today, to my special 1% of the 1%, maybe even 1% of the 1% of the 1% that sees it, feels that twinge inside, to you I say, further up and further in. And I would love for you to send me a message. Let's talk. I look forward to it. I hope that whatever's going on in your life, even if you, like I seem to have had this last week, feel like you had an entire week full of Mondays, that you could reboot, reset. Let yourself know that you can let the past go. Kick the dirt off your heels. Forgive what was. Release what was. And live in the now, which is the only what is. Tomorrow's going to get here quick enough. Let's not worry about that yet. Let's live joyfully in today. What do you say? Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you are happy, safe, warm, and loved. If you're living here in California like I am, you're going, I'm warm enough. It's getting hot again. We're heading towards summer. And maybe you live someplace that's really cold, but hopefully you have a really nice blazing fire. Wherever you are, I hope the warmth of love inhabits your heart always, and that you will be at peace, that you will live thriving and truly free, exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask, or even all that you could even think, according to his riches in Christ Jesus. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk soon.